South Africa's glorious Garden Route, a holidaymaker's paradise on the stunning Western Cape, where the city of George at the foot of the Outeniqua Mountains plays host to the second event of the IRB Sevens World Series. New Zealand stole an early march on their rivals by storming to success in the desert heat of Dubai. Fiji, South Africa and the other key contenders all out to halt the Kiwis' relentless drive. South Africa have famously never won their home leg, but with the addition of Sevens veteran Marius Schoeman and Springbok local boy Kabamba Floors, hopes were high.
Well, with Mzwandile, we injured his AC joint. We had to decide to bring in experienced players, and we couldn't find better replacements, than Kabamba Floors and Marius Schoeman. They are some of the more experienced players in South Africa in terms of sevens. They're both looking good, and they should be doing well over the weekend.
Youth, pace and experience in TREU's lineup, not to mention the return of the country's most lethal ever sevens finisher.
It's been quite nice. I've enjoyed it because I've been out for a year and a half before I started playing again out this year, and it's really nice being back. I started playing again about 6 weeks ago, but I'm just trying to build it up, not being too over anxious doing things, and just taking it slowly, tournament by tournament and game by game. In Dubai, the first day we played well, especially against England, and then the second day against Kenya didn't go that well, and then obviously New Zealand, that forward pass, yeah. It was tough, but the guys played well against New Zealand and we can just build on that now.
At third in the all-time try-scoring list, TREU is first to admit that he's missed Juries' mercurial talents over the past season. Not just his undoubted turn of pace, but his ability to create as well.
Well, definitely. FABIAN has been out for almost a year and a half, and that kind of experience to come back into the squad. And especially, you could see last week in Dubai. When it counted, when we needed a player who could do something special, FABIAN was the player, who could just step up and just make the difference for us. And I think that is what's special about FABIAN. He can really attack the weaknesses in the defense line, and just the way that he's creating a play for the other players.
Juries is one of 13 players contracted to the Sevens team for the next 2 years.
I think it will make a lot of difference because now we will get continuity. The guys will get to know each other better. There isn't much new guys coming into the side, and we'll just have to perform well and gel together.
It was a tough pool that awaited the box. Argentina back on song, Wales and Uganda both dangerous. Elsewhere, Samoa were looking to kickstart their season, all of Fiji hoping for a better return than the runners-up medal in Dubai, while top seeds New Zealand faced the substantial pool challenge of England. Local hometown boy Paul TREU was feeling the pressure early on, but that was eased dramatically by the form of his returning match winner.
Oh, beautiful pass from FABIAN Juries. This is MJ Mintz. The crucial ankle tap, but Dimas is there, gets away from one. Can he get away from the second? He doesn't need to because FABIAN Juries is there to score his second try.
And in the last game on day one, Wales, desperate for a win after their loss to Argentina, instead felt the full force of the Springboks and their home crowd.
Neil Powell, oh, slight of foot inside. Oh, great pick up by Dazal. Well, I thought Wales had that covered, but that's what backing up can do.
Australia's maiden voyage in Dubai was hardly the stuff of legend, and despite an early lead, their opening gambit in George didn't promise a great deal more.
Oh, wonderful angle run by Hamani, and Zegden is there to pick up the pieces and go over for the second try. The scores are level.
A sign of things to come for the Wallabies, the Scots next to pile on the misery.
Higginbotham went up to claim it, knocked it forward in the process. Advantage being played to Scotland. This is Chris Fusaro and the perfect start for Scotland, opening the scoring within a matter of seconds. There's no one at home for Chris Kinloch. Had to change the direction. Beautiful inside pass from Gregor to Thompson. And Scotland will prevail against Australia.
By the time the Aussies faced the Samoans, they were all but out of the cup competition. But after an early interception effort for Rudy Moore's men, the Aussies certainly kept them honest.
Quickly taken. Short little 22-metre dropout. And it's worked out well for Australia. This is Higginbotham. Gets his hands through the tackle for James Liu. And they're queuing up here for Australia. There's a man on the outside.
Try there.
And a wonderful try.
Time off, please.
Zimbabwe, a country in political turmoil, and a Sevens team here in George acutely aware of the esteem they're held in back home, and the responsibility, given the power sport has, to unite the nation.
Whether you're looking at a grassroots development program, whether you're looking at a schoolboy from a role model point of view, or whether you're taking post-school and trying to influence sectors of the community to carry on playing rugby or to participate in rugby, it's very, very important for them to see players that they can identify with from the country playing at an international level. It's something that we aren't able to do at 15s at the moment. It's something that people must look at and aspire to, and to see them on an international stage is hugely important. And of course it's very important for the players themselves.
It's something big to me, because when I started playing rugby, I'd never dreamed that I could play against such big teams. But now I'm in the world of the big guys. Now I have to go and face it. I just have to go and perform the best that I can to compete with those guys, so that we can do the best that we can do with the team. With the experience that I've got playing for Zim Sevens, edging up to the team, I think we're going to do well. Yeah.
Competing well against the bigger nations and winning the Shield competition in Dubai meant great strides were made. Their star winger is sure that they're all heading in the right direction.
Yeah, it was. I did manage to put in a few tries, and guys gradually discovered that we were there to compete. That's why we got better and better with each passing leg. You know, winning is like it's like a drug. Once you start winning, you just get that feeling is always, and you always want to keep winning. We still want that feeling within us. We still want to give it a go again.
Liam Middleton, who also coaches in England at Hartpury College near Gloucester, is confident his team will rise to another challenge in George.
Yeah, it's tough. We've got a tough pool again, but we're going into that England game well prepared. We've got a plan. The players are confident coming out of Dubai that we can compete. If we can compete with Australia, Argentina and France and only lose by 5 points, then we're going to have a good crack at them. And there's no situation where we're going to go into that game and say, you know, we're underdogs, we can't win, we're just going to go out and compete. We are going to go for a win and we'll have a good crack at it.
Captain Andy Vilk's try did give England an early cushion in that Pool A opener, but Zimbabwe were quick to show their credentials at this level.
Simpson was under pressure there and penalised for holding on. Zimbabwe take it quickly. Looking for a runner, but he doesn't need him. Tangai Nemadire over for Zimbabwe's first try.
England's power, though, proving too much in the end. Tom Young scoring one of 4 tries to avoid an upset. But what one African side couldn't do.
Now 2-on-1. Has he got the pace to go all the way? Wilson Apondo. It comes back to Innocent Samiu. Try!
Only Kenya's second ever win against England, but both coming in the last 5 tournaments. Clear sign of the times. That result leaving young England needing an unlikely win against series leaders New Zealand. But missing key players Nigel Hunt and DJ Forbes, New Zealand were vulnerable. And what a battle it proved to be.
There's a big turnover ball from the tackle. Stephen Yates, done well so far. Zar Lawrence, the speedster, Rai Kambula, the creative influence in the midfield, and big Victor Vito stuck out on the wing for the first time. This is a great start for New Zealand. Israel Dagg. And the teenager from Hawke's Bay, Israel Dagg, sets England back on their heels. Ndamu is a tough customer to hold. Still going, away again. Terrific offload to Ben Foden, lovely cutback. This is the lead for England. Great work by Sohan Damu. Back come New Zealand. This is classical sevens play by both teams. Israel Dag, 2 in a row for the youngster. Up the middle goes Israel Dag, and Dag gets a hat-trick, does he or not? Referee looks, it's right on the line, but not over for the try yet. It could be now, and it's Stephen Yates. Stephen Yates with the score. Damu, and Damu goes, he's got a big reach. This is England to lead again with the grounding of the try. New Zealand. Any sort of score would do for them. Now it's with the danger man, Dag. Dag inside is Ranger, within range. Dag goes for the corner. What's the outcome of that? The referee looks, and the try is given.
Dag's maiden series hat-trick, stealing the game at the death and condemning England to life outside the cup in the bowl tournament. Pool B proved equally unpredictable. France's erratic form continued. The same American speedster that skinned Brian Habana in the World Cup, making his mark.
Ngwenya's racing for the ball, and he's there. Ngwenya wins the foot race. Into the hands of Ngwenya it goes. Look at the stepping, he's looking for support, finds it through Malifa. Malifa sends it back the other way, and here's a big man on the ball for the USA. Good stepping from Threaten Palamo into the hands of Todd Cleaver. Lovely stepping from Cleaver. He's got a man on either side of him. That's a great pass, and has it gone forward? It has not. Ryan Hamilton will score for the US under the posts.
A famous win for the Eagles, who are then brought back down to earth by Fiji. Pool winners at a canter, sweeping all before them. So the States could ill afford to slip up against North American rivals Canada in the race for second place. And guess who settled things once again?
They'll want to shift it way out to the left to Ngwenya and give him a bit of space to move. Here he goes. You can sense the incitement in the crowd as he goes around the outside. What a try! Ngwenya makes the impact within 20 seconds of coming onto the field.
Heroics from the Eagles, and their reward, a quarter-final against New Zealand. Samoa faced a resurgent Argentina, Kenya and Scotland, both out to buck the trend against Fiji and South Africa. All that and more after the break. Welcome back to the Outeniqua Park Stadium in George, and after a first day full of upset and incident, the rugby-mad South African crowd poured in for more. First of the last 8 bouts didn't lack for David and Goliath qualities. Quarter-final rookies, the USA Eagles, up against the consummate pros of New Zealand.
This is Chris Wiles. Played a very good World Cup. Nice switch to Cleaver. Now then, it's all about support and a bit of pace. Clever would really love to have Ngwenya on his elbow. Can he get it wide now? He's still going. Here is the switch. Good play. Palafab, but they needed to come left. They had 3 men wide on the left-hand side, not up the middle. You have to launch Ngwenya to have a hope. And that's the breakdown, and that's the runaway score for James Kamana. His first in a New Zealand Sevens jersey.
Samoa raced to an early lead against Argentina, but just as in the Dubai Plate final, it was the leading all-time Sevens try scorer who turned things around.
And this is Santiago Gomez-Cora, puts it on the boot, and now it's a foot race. Doesn't look anything wrong with Gomez-Cora's fitness here. Can he score the try? Yes! Brilliant! Scores a level.
Gomez Cora. Oh, that's a great piece of play, and it all has opened up in front of Amalong. Great play from Argentina here. There's a clever kick. Santiago Gomez Cora might get his second here. It is indeed his second try. It's his 172nd in IRB Sevens Series Rugby.
Okay, crouch. Touch.
Bruzzoni to put the ball into the scrum. And it comes flying out to feed the short side. Bruzzoni going for the corner and the lead.
Happy? Good.
Bruzzone's neat blindside poach snatching the lead before a rare penalty offered the Pumas a chance to seal Samoa's fate for a second week running.
This is to give Argentina a 10-point lead with only 2 minutes left in the contest. He struck it well, he's got it.
Schalk van der Merwe's storming run and first try of the new season fired up the home support in South Africa's quarter-final. But from then on, surprisingly, it was all Scotland.
It's intercepted by Scotland. There's going to be a chase here. Renfred Dazel is after Jackson and can't get to him. A score against the run of play for Scotland. Richie Vernon gets away from Mbiozo. Wonderful inside pass for Gregor. The chase is on. And Vernon for the corner. Scotland hit the lead. Back on the Scottish side from the scrum, and a gap opens up as well. Fleurs can't make the tackle. The chase is on here. It's Jackson again with a race to the line against Dazel, and Jackson is going to win that race.
Seconds to go, the Scots leading 17-14, and only one solid scrum between them and their finest ever Sevens win.
South Africa have got possession from the scrum. The hooter has gone. They have to keep this ball alive, and they have to score to make the semi-finals. Away goes Sakwa! Over! South Africa steal it at the death.
Kenya's form was again impressive, but Fiji never looked like losing their quarter-final tussle.
This is Thakau. Has Noah Athangi out wide, can't get the pass cleanly. Got a release. And that's well fed to the wide open side. Nanuku again. Buthanga goes with him. Still Nanuku. The two of them are there on their own. It's all on the bounce here. Nanuku gathers it in, plants it down.
Argentina then, the one side to defy the seedings, booking a date with defending George champions New Zealand, the home side taking on Fiji in the other half of the draw. The first semi-final then, Kiwi against Puma. Argentina through to the last four for the first time this year, emulating the remarkable feats of their 15-a-side compatriots.
Now DJ Forbes spotted some space out on the right. Beautifully hands through the tackle. And Zar Lawrence has a clean run into the line.
Flat. Hold.
And well picked up in the end, but the kick intercepted by Zar Lawrence. Beautiful handling skills. Argentina looking to just put a little kick in behind the advancing New Zealand line. And Zar Lawrence, beautifully controlled. Little charge down and managed to grab it out of the air. His second try of the semi-final. Spread wide by DJ Forbes. Raikabula changes direction and gets it back from his skipper Forbes. And now Stephen Yates. Beautiful step from Yates, and that is most certainly confirmation of the result of this semi-final.
The pressure had been building all day on Paul TREU and his box. Could they finally satisfy the high expectations of their home crowd?
Oh, that's a lovely offload to FABIAN JURIES against Vathango. The tap tackle was enough, but not to stop him altogether, and he's off again. FABIAN JURIES, 7 tries in this tournament already, and Here comes South Africa, and away goes MJ Mens. Martinus Johannes Mens. His first try in this tournament, and what a time to score it. They've got possession still, and it's on via Nuku, and this is Thakau. Big tackles, great support play. Support play, the skip step from Ganeva. He's taken out at the corner. Super defence from the Springboks.
Fiji scored just before half-time, left it all square, and finally poised for the second half.
7 to go. Kabamba floors. He's away. Has he the pace? The tap tackle doesn't work for Ganeva. Kabamba floors. It's only Nanuku can stop him. He reaches to the line. I think he's made it. He has. This is immense, the whole thing, and this is Powell. Wide is Mbiozo. Mbiozo, oh my goodness me, some tackle from Nawarathangi. And the penalty here, that was one of the tackles of the tournament. And it's eventually brought ball back to Fiji with Thakau going on the kick and chase. Has to offload, oh, he's missed his man. It's still low with Fiji. This is Nawarathangi, hasn't got the pace to beat Jones. What an inside pass, what a try this could be. Maui dives, gives it out to Nawarathangi. Nawarathangi scores, brilliant rugby, absolutely sensational. What a contest, it doesn't come much better than this. It's 12 all.
Pause, engage.
This is the final play. And Fiji have broken away to seal it through Maui. Tomasi Maui, the youngster in the side at 20, has made it Fiji's final.
South Africa once again found wanting when it mattered most. Another year's wait for them. But in the here and now, it was a repeat of Dubai's final. There was an all too familiar sound to it. New Zealand against Fiji.
Coker goes up high, Kamana comes round. They lost Nigel Hunt, of course, through injury, and Tafai Oasa back in Dubai. And it's Yates who's been a big influence. Yates has got loads of support. They're ranged up on the right, but they're inside him on the left with Raikambula. And this is the opening score under the posts. And again, we talk about the influence of those front three men. As Garth said, they're the ones who make things happen. Raikambula, crossbar Lawrence, here's Kamana, this is Vito. Vito against Thakau. Vito so strong. It's the kind of power that you remember with a Jonah Lomu who starred in the Sevens game. It's not quite so big. Who is?
Vito's second try and another for captain DJ Forbes, taking the Kiwis out to a 24-0 half-time lead. The Fijians stunned. And more of the same followed after the break. James Kamana dotting down barely a minute into the second half.
There's Lawrence. Steps inside and off he goes. One man to beat. But, well, Nanuku stood firm. Gets his reward here. A long sprint to the other end. Coker even chases this one. A lost cause though it may be.
Final nail in the coffin hammered home by yet another Titchens find and another teenage star in the making, emerging from the bench to make his mark.
As if enough isn't enough, this is Israel Dag. He comes on the field, and what does he do? Just scores. He's loving it. What a day he's had. Try number 7 for the 19-year-old.
So a handsome personal tally for Dag in his first series event, and an ominous victory for a depleted Kiwi squad and coach Gordon Titchens on his 52nd birthday, taking the game to the opposition, again making the difference.
Every time we play Fiji, it's always the key to start well, and we just try and pile on as many points as we can. And from there, you know, if they have a sniff, they can always come back, but we try and shut the gates early. The boys really dug deep on our D, and we didn't let them through.
New Zealand, champions in George for a second successive year, taking a significant series lead into the Christmas break. Fiji and South Africa out to lead the chase in the new year, starting at the Kiwis' home event, Wellington, in February. We'll see you there.
Rugby